The Umasa Nebula shimmered like a cosmic mirage against the backdrop of deep space-pale violet tendrils of ionized gas weaving through clusters of distant stars. To any passing Imperial survey ship, it was nothing more than a picturesque anomaly, a region of low strategic interest. But to Commander Arya Valen, it was the heart of humanity's greatest secret, the Silent Forge. Arya stood on the observation deck of USS Sentinel, her uniform crisp and unadorned save for the pale blue insignia of the United Earth Coalition. The bulkhead's transparent alloy window curved overhead, giving her a panoramic view of the construction yard hidden within the gas giant Viridian's magnetic resonance. There, in absolute secrecy, massive sections of 3 Leviathan-class dreadnoughts floated in tow, while orbital cranes slung asteroid-mined alloys like turning wheels of fate. "Commander," Lieutenant Kale Dara's voice crackled through her earpiece. "We have a situation." Arya didn't turn. "Go ahead." Hydrosweep scans are picking up faint rhythmic gravimetric pulses. They mimic our cloaking field modulations, but at a much lower frequency. Her heart tightened. The Empire's gravimetric arrays were renowned for their sensitivity. These pulses meant someone was probing. How long until they can triangulate? Our position? Estimation: 36 hours at current scan patterns. She closed her eyes briefly. 36 hours to evacuate, if they move fast. But the Silent Forge wasn't designed for quick abandonment. Billions of tons of ship components, half-built hulls, and specialized machinery filled every hangar. A complete scuttling would take weeks. Arya's gaze drifted to the massive warship hulls, baptized only with alphanumeric designations: UECO1, -3, -7. 10 in all. Each was a self-contained, planet-sized fortress, outfitted with graviton projectors, quantum torpedo banks, and hangars for thousands of fighter drones. After decades of diplomatic appeasement and treaty compliance, humanity had finally built a fleet capable of standing toe-to-toe with the Empire. A soft chime sounded. Her executive officer, Commander Ria Montero, stepped forward, clasping a datapad. "Admiral Chun is requesting a status briefing in 10 minutes. He's concerned about potential data leaks. We may have a mole." "Understood." Arya's jaw tightened. "Send him the preliminary scan data and reserve an armory escort." "For the meeting." Ria inclined her head. "Right away, Commander." Alone again, Arya allowed herself a moment of reflection. She had joined the project 10 years ago, fresh from the academy and horrified by the Empire's expansionism. First came the blockade of Beetle 3, then the silent takeover of the Andari colonies. Each act chipped away at human sovereignty until only a handful of fringe wolves remained free. The Silent Forge was humanity's answer, not open confrontation, but preparation in the shadows. She remembered her first glimpse of the shipyard, a cavernous, hollowed-out core inside Viridian, thousands of kilometers across, its interior lit by artificial suns. Engineers were still wiring together the first warp capacitor ring. At the time, it looked less like a warship and more like a ghost ship waiting for a captain that didn't know it existed. Her reverie shattered as Kale's voice returned. "Commander, I'm picking up encrypted bursts, likely a Securicom line. It's coded in the Coalition's original wartime cipher." Arya's pulse quickened. If someone on Viridian's surface was sending encoded messages, it could be an insider alerting the Empire. "Trace it," she ordered, "and lock down communications with the Yard. No messages in or out without my authorization." "Aye, Commander." Arya pivoted to face the deck's central console. She tapped several controls, watching as holographic schematics of the orbital docks materialized in midair. One by one, the 10 war stars illuminated, spindly legs for atmospheric entry, wrist-mounted plasma cutters for boarding actions, and broad dorsal spines bristling with antimatter torpedoes. "Lieutenant Dara," she said more softly, "prepare Gauntlet, our cloaked escort cruiser. Load the boarding teams and plasma charges. If it comes to it, we sever our link to the yard scuttle every dock, every module, every conveyor run, even if we lose all support." Dara's face, reflected in the glass, was grave. Self-destruct or evacuation? Both. The moment the Empire's fleet jumps into Viridian orbit, we execute Phase Blackforge. Every explosive charge on the docks goes off, and we jump out yard, assets and all. She watched the faint glow of their hidden fleet, suspended like terrarium creatures in the nebulous depths. They'll never know what hit them. Below, deep within the planet's magnetosphere, the construction yard's control center blinked green. Automated systems hummed as robotic assemblers welded plates and routed power conduits. To the workers, rotating crews of colonists and volunteers, the yard was a marvel of engineering, a beacon of hope. They did not know they were building weapons of war so massive they could shatter a world's crust with a single broadside. Rhea rejoined her at the window. All clear on the yard side. No signs of sabotage. Yet, Arya nodded, steeling herself. Continue normal operations. But station on patrol shuttles at every access port. If any of the civilian contractors go missing or behave oddly, they're to be brought here for questioning. As the two officers stood in tense silence, the Umasa Nebula pulsed faintly, as if in acknowledgement. In its depths lay the seed of humanity's defiance, a silent promise of retribution. And though the Empire's sensors had never caught a whisper of it, soon the galaxy would tremble at the revelation that humanity had built its greatest weapons in the open shadows of space. A final transmission crackled over encrypted channels. "Commander Valen, Admiral Chun is assembled. Your presence is requested immediately." Arya drew a breath, squared her shoulders, and walked away from the window. Beyond, the war stars waited silent behemoths poised to awaken at her command. The die was cast. The true war for humanity's freedom had only just begun. The corridors of Warstar Hercules thrummed with anticipation as the 10 planet-sized vessels slipped free of the gas giant's shadow. Fluorescent panels cast long, wavering reflections on armor boots and flight suit visors. Crewmen and women ferried ordnance and power cells down illuminated passageways. Engineers monitored exotic reactors generating the graviton fields that would keep these colossal hulls aloft. Everywhere, whispers of "today we change history" passed like static over secure com-dash channels. In the Grand Strategy Chamber, Commander Arya Valen stood beneath a towering holoprojector that bathed the room in flickering blue light. Around her, Admirals Chun, Saris, and Montero consulted holocharts of the Orion sector. The Void Rift lay 7 light hours ahead, a turbulent tangle of subspace currents that rendered all known sensors worthless. Beyond it, the Empire's home fleet lay anchored at Tycho's gate, unsuspecting. "Hyperion Protocol in 3, 2, 1, Admiral Chun intoned. A surge of static. Then the projections dissolved and reformed as ghostly outlines of the war stars converging into a perfect 10-point phalanx. "We enter the rift in 5 minutes. Helm, initiate cascade drive at quarter power to bleed hour. Trail from Imperial grav-arrays." A hush fell. Even veteran officers felt their hearts pound as the hull groaned under the strain of temporal compression. "Aye," replied the helmsman, voice taut. "Punching us in." Outside the viewports, space itself seemed to stretch and blur. The swirling eddies of the rift coalesced into a roiling funnel of violet and obsidian. Suddenly, the stars snapped into pinpricks of light, then exploded into streaks as Hercules and her sister ships dove into the unknown. Moments later, alarms blared. Multiple contacts emerging from behind the rift, reported Lieutenant Dara from Tactical His Knuckles. "White, Imperial Praetor battleships and a squadron of Seraph-class cruisers. They're vectored for intercept. Arya's calm mass shattered. Status of the fighter wings? Ready to launch, man. All 10 carriers at full complement. 4,000 drones total. Do it. She turned to Admiral Saris. Deploy Squadrons Alpha through Delta to disable their shield pylons. Once those fall, the War Stars hit with plasma storm volleys. Chun, target their flagship Imperial Glory. The hangar bays roared to life. Hatches slid open like waking Leviathan jaws. From each War Star, sleek pods darted outward, wings of black armored fighters streaking toward the Imperial line. Their electromagnetic disruptors pulsed, seeking the Glory's towering shield generators. In near real time, sensor data streamed. Back to the bridge. Alpha Wing down to 3 ships. 2 Seraphs got pass point defense, Dara warned. But they've knocked out Shield Ring 1 and 2. A ripple of triumph swept the chamber. All ships, fire on my mark, Arya ordered. One by one, the War Star's spine-mounted cannon arrays flared, a symphony of superheated beams lancing through the void. The Imperial fleet shuddered as shields collapsed and hulls half-melted in seconds. Space around them blossomed with fiery fragments. On the bridge of Warstar Eris, Engineer Commander Liao watched molten debris drift past their observation port. The Empire underestimated us, she murmured, voice thick with awe. They never dreamed we'd build 10 planet-sized battleships in secret. Back aboard Hercules, Arya allowed herself the first genuine smile in weeks. All units stand by for boarding operations. Capture their command cruisers, seize their comcores. She flicked a toggle. Gauntlet, drop cloaked assault teams on those hailing wrecks. Through wormhole-fast relays, humanity's newly forged armada pressed. Its advantage, systematically dismantling the Imperial formation. As the last Praetor's reactor core erupted in a silent nova, a single encrypted broadcast pulsed across the void. Emperor's personal envoy begging for ceasefire. Arya's gaze drifted to the shattered fleet. Before her, 10 silent giants adrift, amid the wreckage of a once unstoppable armada. Send this to every system under Imperial yoke, she said, voice low and unwavering. Let them know the age of tyranny is over, and that humanity's warships rose from the shadows. The signal beamed out on all frequencies. Hold the price of underestimating us. Join humanity, or stand aside. As the transmission faded into the expanding void, the War Stars powered down their weapons banks. In the eerie calm that followed, a new chapter in galactic history began, one written not by imperial decree, but by the secret fury of a society determined to survive